Hello and welcome to Hoda's Career Info. I am your host Hoda, and this is the channel for everyone seeking career services. Today, I am happy to welcome award-winning certified career professional Maureen McCann. You will quickly be able to see and hear Maureen's passion for career literacy, and hence my excitement for interviewing her. Maureen is the owner of PCS, Promotion Career Solutions, a company she started in 2007. She offers services that include resume writing, job search, interview coaching, and exploring career options. In short, Maureen will tailor the services to your specific needs and will help you move forward in your career. Let's find out how she does it. Welcome to Hoda's Career Info, Maureen. I'm so glad you decided to join me and share your expertise about the importance of career literacy and what the role that career professionals do. So right away, I am going to tell you and share, I guess, with everyone that Maureen and I have only recently met in the Connexus conference in January. But Maureen knows that I have been a fan of hers for a very long time. I follow her on social media, and I read your blogs, Maureen, and whenever I read your blog, I find myself nodding in agreement, saying, okay, I don't have to write about that anymore because Maureen already talks about it. But I love what you do, and I feel that you have as much passion about increasing career literacy as I do. So my first question to you, and it really is two questions. How do you define career literacy? And what is that behind that passion for you to write blogs and really support your clients to find that happy pathway?
Well, first I want to say thank you so much, Dr. Hoda, for having me here and for reaching out, because I love that you just out of the blue reached out to me and asked the question, and now here we are. Like, it's one of my favorite things is when people do that. So thank you for doing that. So to your question about career literacy, I think for me, it's often, I see people that don't understand what they need to do in order to be successful in their career and in their life. And I think that comes from just life experience, watching that happen to people over and over again, and almost, well, really studying it, right? So where that first started for me was both of my parents are teachers, and I love how they help other people learn about different things. My dad was a high school teacher who taught business math and all of the really sort of applied math that you use, like how to figure out a mortgage interest rate. And I really like the practicality of some of the things that he taught. I think we both have that in common. So when it comes to career literacy, I feel it's the same thing. You really have to have these common fundamental skills in order to build the life that you want. And I think a lot of times we're led to believe, oh, if I just learn how to do the job, then I can get the job. And I don't think that's the case. I think you have to learn how to get the job as well. And that's a piece that I think is missing in just our regular everyday activities. And so for me, career literacy is very much about having a good understanding of not just how to do the job and how to get the job, but what other jobs are there? Like there's so many different career options or opportunities that we don't even know of. Like we don't even talk about them. You know, when I ask people like name 10 careers, there's like the banker, lawyer, doctor, teacher, all of the traditional ones, but you don't immediately think of like contact tracer, right? That's a new one that's just come up, or not that new, but it's new, more recent, more prevalent. So I think career literacy, again, is having not just some basic understanding about how to find a job, but also an awareness of what's going on in the Canadian economy and how can I be an active part of it.
I love that you mentioned that we need to really open up everybody's minds about to go beyond the traditional roles that we all think of, and sometimes just the doctors, the engineers, and the business, the bank, and delve deeper into that. The reason I started this channel is because I get a lot of questions. So what does a career professional really do? So how would you respond to that question when asked, Maureen?
So many different answers. It really depends on the person who's asking the question. I never want to assume that I know what the other person knows about what I do, because there's so many different levels, if you will, of what I do. And so just like we talked about, there's the job search activities, right? Like resume, interview, cover letter, that type of thing, your LinkedIn profile. But there's also the like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up kind of conversations. So that's just another aspect of some of the work that we do. And then there's also the whole idea of like career management. I really like what I do, but I don't like where I do it, or I'm having difficulty or challenges. And so the whole idea around like work-life strategies, how do I continue to do the work that I love to do in environments that are really challenging for me, or really I'm finding challenging because I have other things happening in my life. So I don't really have a specific definition that's like one size fits all, because it really is customized based on who's asking the question and what they're experiencing. That's where I then turn the conversation into, okay, well, it sounds like here are some of the things you're experiencing. Here are some of the ways that I can help.
I totally agree with you on that as well. I find that it's hard for me to say one thing, but the way you said it is I look at the person asking the question. I think that would help me better figure it out, because not only what I do is varied, but also really what we do as career professionals come from different angles to it. But at the end of the day, we just want to make sure our clients know where they're headed and they're happy with the job they have at that moment. So thank you for that. And yeah, I see that echoed in your blogs as well. So I encourage everyone watching this to check out Maureen's blogs and really you learn more about what we do as career professionals. So you are a career professional. And so what would be your specialty? What would you define, I guess, your favorite thing from the services you offer, or a specialty, if you want to call it?
Ooh, I think there's two different questions going on there. So when I first heard you ask that, I immediately went to like, what do I like most about the work that I do? And so it's more of it's something that I see happen. It's the moment, and I think teachers probably get this too, the moment that something clicks, the penny drops for somebody else, or as Oprah calls it, the aha moment, the moment that that happens with a client, whew, that feels good. I like that. I like to be a witness to that. I like to see that they have learned something new and now they feel like, okay, that thing that was really stressing me out or that I really was unsure about, I now know, I have the tools or the resources or whatever. I now know how to go and take care of that by myself. So I like that sort of empowerment piece, or that just giving people the information. And I think too, sometimes there's so much information that people are overwhelmed. Like there are people, there's a lot of different people coming to this profession right now. And as they get certified or they get more experience, they're learning more and more. I think it's important for people who are on the job seeker side or on the client side, when they're evaluating, like, who am I going to work with? What am I going to do? What are some of the things that I need to know before I take on that advice from different people? I think it is really important that they do their due diligence and understand, some of the different aspects of career development and our profession here in Canada. So whether that's certification or different courses that people have taken, I think I don't want to say buyer beware, that's not the right language, but you just want to make sure you're getting really solid advice from people who have studied career development, who understand the different theories, who are, certified and are aware of the ethics, as opposed to, anyone who could just start their business. And I just want to make sure people are safe. I just don't want people to be taken advantage of when they're already in a vulnerable position. I went around in a circle there, Hoda. I'm not sure that I answered your question.
Well, really what I was headed with that is I really wanted you to share why you love what you do. And you have answered that in a way, and you highlighted a few important things, such as the empowerment of our clients, and that is important. And like you said, it is important to shop around and before deciding on who you want to work with for many, many reasons. And because empowerment is what we have learned that we need to pass on to our clients, not to do the job for them. And this is one of the things that I struggle with, is that I am not here to find you a job, but I'm here to work with you and empower you to go find it on your own. And so that, I think, is a crucial service that we offer, is empowering our clients to continue to take charge of their careers and really the career journey.
And I think too, just to add to your point, is we're partners. Like I partner with people and I act as a guide to get them from point A to point B or help them understand a problem that they're trying to solve. And I think that's that collaborative approach. That's one of the things that going back to your original question, that's one of the things that I really, really like, is how together we problem solve different scenarios based on my experience with previous clients and then with the other person's experience in that particular industry. And so there's this really nice relationship where theory meets practicality and people are able to implement those solutions.
Well, I'm glad we talked about that, because I told you I was going to get a quotation from your website, and I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to hopefully ask you to elaborate on it.
Okay.
So this is, your website states that you want to help job seekers not only successfully navigate their job search, but break the cycle of falling into the work that they do and accepting the first job that comes along. So can you elaborate on that? I guess for someone seeking your services, what do you mean by that?
Okay, I got to tell you where that comes from first, because I love this statement. And it's one of those things where at the time I was learning from Simon Sinek's, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And I was like, okay, why am I doing the work that I'm doing? Like I have to do the work that I'm asking my clients to do, but this was back when I was starting my business and I had to write my I believe statement. And so that's what you just read back to me. I believe that people can love the work that they do, and I want to prevent them from falling into whatever that happens to be. I want it to be like a conscious choice. So I don't want you to be an engineer because somebody told you all your life that you're really good at math. I want you to be an engineer because, you know, doing engineering work like makes your heart sing and you feel fantastic every time you get the opportunity to do that. But what I think actually happens is we are taught to pick a school, or no, not even before we pick a school, we have to pick a subject, and then we have to pick a school, and then we have to pick a company, and then we hope we get a job there. And then within that company, we sort of stay in that particular silo. And that just is not the case anymore. I think that might have been true for my parents' generation. Like you graduate from school and then you go to the workforce and you stay doing the same thing that whole time, like until death do you part kind of thing. And that's just not the case anymore. I mean, I certainly haven't done it that way. People of my generation, my kids will not do it that way. And I want people to, I know it sounds so crazy to people who don't love their jobs. They just think of it as just a paycheck, but it is like the economic engine of the life you get to build for yourself. So why not enjoy it? Like you'll often hear me say, you know, you'll spend more hours at work in any given week. You'll spend more hours at work than with the people you love. Think about that. So imagine if you were miserable at work. And statistically, I think it's more than 50% of Canadians are not happy or unhappy in their work. So imagine what that's like for the rest of the people having to work with those people, but also what that does to us, you know, from a societal standpoint. I know I'm just going a little bit long on this particular answer, but I am very passionate about this. I do believe you can love the work that you do. It's just a matter of bringing it to your attention and awareness, and maybe putting the tools in front of you so that you can make those choices that are the best for you, as opposed to maybe what you've been told as you were raised through school, and how to make those types of life decisions.
You did not go on for too long, and you saw me nodding. And I'm like, no, keep going, keep going. I am happy with what you're sharing, because really this is the core of what we do, is that we want you to be happy at work when you come to us. And whether you're coming out of high school or even after 20 years working for the same company, our goal is to say, were you happy those past 20 years? And if not, let's find out why. So I'm happy you talked about it in detail, and I appreciate that, because really that's the purpose of what I'm hoping to accomplish by interviewing you and other career professionals. I do have one thing, because I hope it will elaborate more, one more question to elaborate more on the services you offer. So do you have any specific projects coming up, any workshops, any new services you're introducing that you can share, just to give us more about the type of services that career professionals offer that go perhaps beyond, like you said, resume writing and cover letters?
So I offer 5 services. One of them is relatively new compared to the other 4. And here's what I know. I know people come to me because I'm a resume writer. And it's in having those conversations about their resume that I start to uncover, oh, they don't know what they want to do, or they don't understand how this works, or they need more information in order to be able to make an informed decision. So I offer 2 different resume writing programs, and one of them is simply a resume audit. Let's take a look at your resume and let's compare it to a job that you're interested in applying to, and then let's see where there's gaps. Let's figure out a way that we can present you in your best possible light so that you align with the job that you are most interested in. And then I do full resume development, which I'm happy to talk about, but I think you're more interested in the other pieces. The one piece, I guess it's maybe the newest program that I offer, is called Career Clarity. I love this program. I love this program for people who are like, I know I want to do something different, but I don't know what it is. And I'm really nervous about leaving the thing that I'm currently doing in order to try this other new thing. And so what I love about this program is it's values-based. So it's completely it's completely up to you. You get to decide what are the things that you want to put in your basket in order to then determine what would be and again, I ask this question all the time to people, what's the best possible outcome for you? What does a great job offer look like for you? And you know, Dr. Hoda, that question alone, people are like, you mean I can answer, like I get to decide that? And again, it's one of those like light bulb moments that I get to be part of, where people are like, I just assumed I would go to the job board and I would figure out what they need and I would try and be one of those things. And I'm like, no, you can be whatever you want. You just have to figure out what that is. And so that's what I like about the Career Clarity program, is that it does help give people like a solid foundation from which to base future career decisions. Like, should I go in this direction? Should I go in that direction? And again, one of the things I really like about this program is not only do you feel solid about it, but when you're assessing jobs, you can take a look at the job posting and go, okay, so based on what I already know about me, this is not a job for me. Good. I'm going to not waste my time. I'm going to focus on these types of jobs instead, because again, this is where I find people, I don't want to say they're wasting time. It's not wasted, but there's a much more effective way to use your time when you're focused on the things that make the most sense for the types of roles that you're looking for. And I think this Career Clarity program is certainly designed to do that. I'll wrap up really quickly. The other 2 programs that I offer are around job search strategy and interview coaching. I love my interview coaching because, you know, there's a mock element to it, like mock interviewing. And the job search strategy, what I love most about that particular program is that it really is, people are like, oh, like a plan. Oh, it's really good to have a plan. Thank you. I really appreciate this. As we're talking, I'm noticing that the light is changing from out my window. And so I hope I'm not in the dark.
No, I can see it clearly. It is kind of going and going back, but you're still clear and we're still good to go. I can feel your passion though for the work that you do. So I really thank you for just going along and giving me 100% about how the work that you give and the services that you offer. I do have a question about your services. Are they, like when you talked about the Clarity program, is it mostly individual, or do you have group or individual sessions available as a service?
Yeah, so the work I do with people is one-on-one, and I love that because people get tailored, specific attention, and it's customized to them. That said, I've done group coaching like through some of the nonprofits work that I did at the beginning of my career. And man, having a group of people who are working towards the same goal, even though it's different jobs, it's so nice to hear conversations where people are sharing, well, like I tried this or I tried that, or have you tried calling the company? Or Like I am a big fan of those. I don't operate them in my own business, but I would highly recommend them to anybody.
That's great. Thanks, Maureen. These are all the questions I have for you today. Was there something you hope to talk about that I didn't ask you, or how would you like to wrap up our interview? Anything that you would like to talk about that we didn't touch base on?
Nothing comes to mind except to once again, like, really thank you for opening up this dialogue. I think we don't talk, well, I'm biased, and I think you are too. We don't have these conversations enough. And I do think, as I stated earlier, this is our life. Like, we get one kick at it. So why not love the work that you do? So again, I really do want to praise you for taking the initiative, because I think it serves an incredible value to Canadians as we begin or continue the conversation around, what can I do next? So thank you for that.
Well, as your fan, I definitely really love that you said that. So thank you so much. And thank you for supporting me in this journey. Thanks a lot, Maureen.
My pleasure. Thank you so much, Dr. Hoda.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Hoda's Career Info and the valuable knowledge shared by my guest, Maureen McCann. You can connect with Maureen on her website using the link in the comment section. Maureen is also on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I am your host, Hoda, and until next time, keep moving forward.